Are you in there? Welcome to the Scrap Out. I'm Big Sam. This is my guide to scrapping tumble dryers. I've got a lot to contend with for today's video. I've got the missus upstairs watching some diabolical reality TV, which I can hear through the ceiling. My boy's disabled, he can't speak, but he does make a lot of noise, and he's outside doing a rain dance when you can hear him in the background too. It's chucking it down with rain and blowing a gale. It's probably not the best way to do a video when you've got the garage door wedged open, but here we go. Bog standard tumble dry, non-condenser. That means it's got no condenser drawer down the bottom, no water tray, and it's got no pumps in the back to move the water around. It's the sort that you have the long flexible pipe coming up the back. Absolutely nothing remarkable about it whatsoever. It's got an iron top. A lot of them these days have plastic or chipboard top. This one's got iron. The back, all the fastenings are posi drives. I've had a lot of Torx tumble dryers lately, but this is all posi drives. What can I expect? Some low-grade cable, which will go straight in the basket with my other low-grade cable. I've got a bunch of it now sitting around waiting to be stripped to make it household cable, and electric motor. What quality that will be, we'll find. The tools I'll most likely be using today: my patented magnetic roasting tin. I don't want to lose any screws. I'll explain why as we go along. A small pry bar, a hacksaw. I've had quite a few tumble dryers lately where they've had a fan stuck onto the centre of the motor, and sometimes two fans, one either end, and you can't get them out can't get the motor out without taking the fans off. And the fans are rusted on solid on some of these old machines, especially being that I've had them stood by the head. So hacksaw, because I'm tight and I don't want to use grinding discs, hacksaw straight through. Vice grip cable cutters, you can cut through a nice chunk of wire with those. I've also got my standard wire snips. I fixed them the other day, they're all rusted up in a video. I got them nice and loose and springy, and then the spring snap, so a bit more work involved with those. An assortment of hammers, because there's a hammer for every job, and having the wrong hammer is a nuisance, so keep these free to hand. And probably most importantly for the start off, electric drill driver with a posi drive bit in it. Okay, I've already cut the mains cable off the back. Often when things come out of the yard, I cut pipes and cables off. So I'm just going to pull the remainder out the back there. The cables run into the front along the side there. Should be able to rip that out. Straight for the basket. We'll take this front out and see what's in there. hidden screw. There we go, plug ups and such in there. Right, how far you go on e-waste, it's up to you. There's a few pieces in there. I mean, it's nothing special, just a couple of tiny bits of brass which I might normally not be inclined to bother with. Another plug up at the front. Basically at this point I just want to free the cable up at the top so it's halfway loose down the inside. We'll just plug up to the back. Now I'm going to take the back off it. Now I'm going to take the back off it. See what the layout's like inside. Doesn't feel like it's ever been taken apart before. Some of these machines, you come to the screws and you can tell it's been worked on a bit and everything's pretty loose, but this all seems pretty tight, like it hasn't been messed around with too much. I can already see a sign in the bottom that this might be a nuisance to get the motor out of. Obviously, I would never leave a motor behind, so you know. Wayward screw, right. Okay, first look inside the machine. The motor's just under there, you can see the cable running to it, you can see the body of the motor. There's the main pipe that takes the steam out. There's the fan, I'm sure we're going to have to cut that off. It's all a bit tight in here because the drum's still attached at the back, so I think that'd be because the motors are such a nuisance to get out, I think the next thing I'm going to take care of is just disconnecting that drum from the back of the plate. I've sent the wires off from here to these little thermostats here. If your tumble dryer ever overheats and cuts out and you need to reset it, it's one of these fellas here. One often can be reset and the other one is a permanent one. So if it's the resettable one, then you're fine. If you're not, and the other one goes off, you've got a problem with your machine. I use a wood chisel for far too many things. You know, I think what this tumble dryer might need is just the smallest little bit of Sammy love. She's loose. Okay then, this is the state of play. The drum is disconnected from everything. The back is off the machine. You can clearly see the motor. I need to snip through this. No, I don't need to snip it. And that's off. I need to disconnect this earth cable here. The motor is one of the easiest to take off actually. It's just got this plastic shroud here. Now these are posi dry screws. I don't know if I could get a screwdriver and take that off, get a stubby in there or something. But I reckon I could just smash through with a chisel. Smash that plastic shroud and pull the rest out. The wiring goes up around the back and up to the top where we've already disconnected it from. When we get this out of the way, we'll have a little bit more room. Should be able to get a good grip on that cable and just rip the rest of it straight out. It's not a massive motor, I have to say. Now I was going to use a chisel for this, which is my normal routine, but I forgot. Yesterday I went and bought the Ian Special, and I said I'm going to take the place of some of my chisel work, so let's give it a go. 2 taps through. That Ian Matthews knows a thing or two. You see that got the fan there in the fan housing, and it's the fan housing. I said at the beginning that the fan would be the nuisance for this. I'm just going to obliterate that fan housing, give it some more Sammy love than I might have intended to, and then the motor will be free. Motor and copper. Right, I'm going to yoke this. There's the cable, nothing else. So I've done something that you might not expect. I've put the machine back together. I haven't put all the bolts in. You can see, you know, half a dozen bolts in each panel. Holds it all together. Why have I done this? I'm not using a big truck at the minute. Truck's off the road. I'm using a trailer. If I had a truck, I could just throw light iron on the back of it and not think about it. But using a trailer, you have to be conservative how you use your space. It's much better for me if this is in one solid bit. I don't need like bits of sheet metal flying off the trailer, flapping around the yard, getting in the way. I can keep it in one space. It's easy to stack. I can fill the drum up with other smaller bits of light iron. I can take the lid off it and put light iron in there. It's all about making it easy to transport and making it easy to scrap. I was watching a live stream Q&A with Scrapping Irish and Snobby Scrap Picker a couple of nights ago, and check it out, it's really good. I really enjoyed it. They were saying on there that you can't make a living out of scrap anymore, and I beg to differ, because you know, you never know what you're going to find when you're scrapping. I took this machine apart, I've made 19 pence, I've not even left the house yet. It's a circlip. I've spent far too many years of my life finding inventive ways to remove circlips, and every time I do that I think I really should buy some circlip pliers, and I forget until next time I come across a epoxy circlip. It's another circlip. Some of the shroud that held it in, clear that off, some rubber at the back, get that out of the way. We'll a few Torx bits around there. I'm going to take them off, buzz them off, and then we can see what sort of copper situation we're dealing with. Take that away, that's obviously going to be cast alley. This is alley in it. It's not much, but in the right load I can get away with putting it in as Arnie alley. Okay, there we go. I'm not going to strip this properly, I'm going to do a video on stripping motors. I know everyone has done a video on stripping motors, but still it'll be fun because it's actually I enjoy doing it. It's therapeutic. These types of motors where the copper sits proud are firstly the easiest to strip really, because you saw straight through and then you're left with flat copper and you can just knock the bottoms out. They're also someone did a video on it comparing the sorts of motors. these are the most valuable. You get the best return of copper with these sort of motors when the copper sits proud out of the iron like that. So ultimately, what did I get? I've got some that'll be cast alley. I need to bosh those bearings out of it. I need to take that pin out, but yeah, I've got cast alley. I've got cast alley here. When I clear this, I've got alley refine. That's going to be an alley refine or irony alley, depending on where you take it. What they call it. There's a load of clear liquid coming out of this thing. It's everywhere. My wife's going to come downstairs and think I've been watching something other than scrapping videos. Reasonable motor for a tumble dryer. Decent bit of copper in it. I've got a whole bunch of not as much as a washing machine, say, but a whole bunch of household cable that's got brass clips on it. I cut all these up, but I'm getting it in a big stack and doing it in one go. So on a good day, when I'm not stopping for videos and explaining it, I can do a tumble dryer in 20 minutes, less than that. So it's not much, but it all adds up. It's probably clear that I don't really know what I'm doing with YouTube, and I'm making it up as I go along. My intention at this point is to call any videos where I'm you know, scrapping something out, the scrap out, and they'll have a little intro and stuff. My other plan is to, on a Sunday, assuming there's been scrap action during the week, upload the week in scraps, the week in scrap bracket S, yeah, every Sunday, and that will be bits of scrap and things I've done, and some silliness and things like that. Maybe I might do a video on the contents of the grey box, so it'll be sort of miniature scrap outs, because the grey box is where I throw stuff that has come off something bigger and I can't be bothered with it in the moment. I throw it in there, so I thought maybe I'll do like a grey box video every now and then, and yeah, something like that, making it up as I go along. Thank you for watching. If you made it to the end of the video, thank you very much. If you liked it, hit the like button. If you or anyone you know enjoys watching the old fat geezer smash stuff with a hammer, then subscribe or share the wealth and send my videos elsewhere. Also, I found another penny. That's 20p.